Good morning, all. How are you? Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury. My name is Doug, and my pronouns are he, him. I've been a part of this congregation for about 3 years now, and I just joined as an official member. And I'm very excited about it because I know I'm with my tribe. Totally. This morning we continue our month of Sundays connected by the theme of flourishing together, and our minister Tony will reflect on how our congregation is connected to the ability of the surrounding community in Greater Danbury and how the flourishing of the congregation and community are connected. However you're feeling this morning, there's a place for you here, and together we will make this a celebration of community, support, friendship, kindness, and inspiration. As we gather together this morning, we respectfully acknowledge that our physical building is on the traditional land of the Pagusset, Pequannock, Scotticook, and Wappinger people. Before we get started this morning, I invite you to greet your neighbors either here or next to you, or others joining us online, and say hello. Introduce.
And let's see, we have somebody for the ninth. Okay. We only need someone for the second.
Okay.
Still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks to you who have responded to our call to help with summer programming. We still have need of programming for Sunday morning, August 2nd. If you can lead a service or alternate program on one of these Sundays, or have an idea for a program, please speak to Reverend Tony. We are in need of greeters for summer Sundays. If you can help out by serving as a greeter on one or more of the summer Sundays, please contact Lisa Horton over Many thanks to these volunteers who have met last week to spruce up our grounds so the gardens can thrive and inspire this summer. Catherine Bomer, Bruce Lenke, Barbara Myers, Kristen Papucci, Sean Parish, Yvonne Reddy, and Douglas Williams. This is Reverend Sunday's last Sunday with us until August 23. Reverend Tony will be attending Middlebury College Language School this summer from June 26th till the August 15th, where he will study Spanish in a total immersion program, living on campus and taking classes, language classes, and participating in cultural programs. Please see your order of service, our weekly newsletter this week, and events on the calendar on our website, uudanbury.org, for a complete list of everything that's happening in our congregation. At the end of this morning's service, there will be a postlude, and we ask that everyone remain seated and listen before getting up for coffee hour. And as always, please join us for coffee and conversation after this service. It will be well worth it. We will make this time and this place holy by simply being together with each other. And we begin by lighting the flaming chalice. And I think as the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Please join me in reciting the words to our chalice lighting. We make this time and this place holy by being together. We join the voices to remember that we have a gift to offer this world and use in making the world a better place. So sorry about that. Unitarian Universalists have no creed or dogma. It is our covenant promises to each other about how we practice loving community that holds us together. Let us renew those promises now. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and justice is its light. This is our covenant to dwell together in peace, to speak the truth in love, and to help one another and celebrate life. Please join as we sing hymn number 360, Here We Have Gathered.
invite you to join me in our children's affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We care for the earth and each other. Our story this morning is on video. It's about how art brings community together.
In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who loved to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color and her heart was filled with joy. On her In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who loved to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color and her heart was filled with joy. On her way to school one day, Mira gave a round apple to Mr. Henry, the owner of the shop down the street. She gave a flower to Miss Lopez, the lady with the sparkling eyes. She gave a songbird to Mr. Sachs and a red heart to the policeman who walked up and down the streets. On her way home, Mira taped a glowing sun onto the wall, hiding in the shadows. Her city was less gray, but not much. The next day, Mira saw a man with a pocket full of paintbrushes. He gazed at the wall. He looked at her sun. He held his fingers up in a square and peered through them. He said thoughtfully. What do you see? Mira asked. Maybe something beautiful, the man replied. Then just like that, he dipped a brush in the paint. Bam! Pow! The shadows scurried away. Sky blue cut through the gloom. The man's laughter was like a rainbow, spreading across the sky. Who are you? Mira asked. I'm an artist, he said. A muralist. I paint on walls. I am an artist too, she told him. He handed Mira a brush. Then come on. It's time for Cookie's comments. Mira and the muralist both have a love for art in common. She draws beautiful pictures on paper and he paints on walls. Let's keep reading to find out what happens next. Mira dipped it in the loudest color she saw. Yowee! The wall lit up like sunshine. As the man drew pictures on the bricks, Mira added color, punch, and pizzazz. Soon Mr. Sachs joined in. Then came others. Everyone painted to the rhythm. Salsa, merengue, bebop. Even Mira's mama painted and danced the cha-cha-cha. The whole neighborhood became a giant block party until the policeman walked up. Excuse me, he said. The music stopped. Mira put her brush down. They were surely in trouble. The officer cleared his throat, then paused. May I paint with you? He asked. So Mira handed him a paintbrush and the music started again. Teachers and papas jumped in, babies too. Mira and the man handed out brush after brush. Color spread throughout the streets. So did joy. Wherever Mira and the man went, art followed like the string of a kite. After they colored the walls, they painted utility boxes and benches. They decorated sidewalks and poetry and shine, and everyone danced. Together, they created something more beautiful than they had ever imagined. When their clothes were splattered with a million colors, everyone sat down to rest, except the muralist. His eyes sparkled. You, my friends, are all artists, he told them. The world is your canvas. He smiled wide, then pulled everything together in big, sweeping motions. His paintbrush was like a magic wand. When he was finished, Mira added one more bird way up in the sky. Maybe, she thought, just maybe. The end.
I invite you, if you feel comfortable doing so, to take a slow, deep breath. Settle into your seat. Relax. Let yourself catch up with yourself. And sit in the silence of this loving community for a moment. Douglas Steer, a Quaker teacher, says that the ancient question, who am I, inevitably leads to a deeper question, whose am I? My colleague, Reverend Victoria Stafford, says because there is no identity outside of relationship, you can't be a person by yourself. To ask, whose am I, is to extend the question far beyond the little self-absorbed self and wonder, who needs you? Who loves you? To whom are you accountable? To whom do you answer? Whose life is altered by your choices? Whose lives are bound up with your own? Whose lives, wrapped up in yours, in obvious or invisible ways? Another Quaker teacher, Parker Palmer, says, community and individuality are not an either-or choice. They are the poles of a great paradox. A culture of isolated individualism produces mass conformity because people who think they must bear all life alone are too fearful to take the risks of genuine selfhood. But people who know they are embedded in an eternal and loving community are both freed and empowered to become who they were born to be. And on Sunday, when we share milestones, the joys and sorrows of what's going on in our lives, into this space with our community, we are reminded time and again of whose we are. For to be in a congregation is to belong to each other, that we do not live our lives in isolation. We are connected to our members and friends here in the congregation and to the world around us. And sharing with each other what's happening in our hearts helps us deepen those connections, helps us see each other and be seen, helps us both form and strengthen community. So once again this morning, I invite you to share milestones. And so in gratitude that Father's Day can be seen in many different ways. And I was very fortunate this morning. My son gifted me for Father's Day an Azorean flag, which is, where my mom's family is from. So that was cute. This morning, we also reach another big milestone in the life of our congregation. This morning's Jerry's last Sunday. I am so happy for Jerry. I'm so happy for you that you're getting to do something you want to do. And I'm as genuinely devastated for myself because I am personally going to miss you a ton, as I know everyone else is too. Jerry, you've become an integral part of why this Sunday morning experience is so meaningful to so many people. And that's just a gift. It's beyond measure. If music is indeed the voice of the divine, you are as sacred a minister as I've ever run into. So of course we couldn't let this go unmarked, you understand? So before you go to China and have an awesome new chapter of your life, we have a few things for farewell.
Jerry, please go from behind the piano and find the throne-like seat in the congregation marked reserved. Ode to Jerry. There is a musician named Jerry whose skills on the ivories are, well, scary. Notes out of your range, key feeling quite strange, of transposing he isn't wary, nor of sudden sight reading or playing on while people are talking at him. On culture shock, he often spoke. From Louisiana to CT, habits broke. You hymns just aren't normal and often not formal, but o'er time they felt comfortably woke, in the liberal sense of the word, that is. Such a colorful life he has led. He regaled us with stories. They had credibility. But he kept them succinct, ending up with a wink, since warm-up scales waited ahead, not to mention the rest of the rigorous rehearsals. On the choices he made for our singing, Pink Zebra, Zulu, Gospel Ringing, an occasional round in our own surround sound to the congregation joy was a bringing, we humbly assume. Now for China, he'll venture to wander, and our limbs we will all rend asunder. No, just kidding, we'll cope. If we must ring the Pope, or a local church choir for to plunder, more realistically. Friends, to all it is clear, there is no one can take his place here, for he's so fun. Both talent and wit, seems we can't replace it. Yet for him, there's intrigue across the ocean. Artificial intelligence helped me find that rhyme. Now it's time for this limerick to end for sure. We will miss you and miss you and miss you more. There just is no equivalent, and that's not being ambivalent. Yet, we wish you the best in your life's next tour. Hip, hip, hooray!
Okay, Alex and Tara. And I think we're gonna appear up there. So everyone on this side, you're going to sing what's in black. Yes, you are going to sing. And everyone on that side, you're going to sing what is in red. But when they sing the verse, we sing, "Thank you, Jerry." Okay? And you do. And then the other side will sing, "Thank you, Jerry." Okay, you got it. Hopefully. And hopefully the choir will. And then there's a section in blue, that's for the choir. And then the very last verse is green, and that's for all of us. All of us. Everyone's confused.
Always giving us your best. Thank you.
So, and to wrap this up, we have a going away gift. So if you would come on up.
He's still working.
What are we going to do? See?
Jerry, I have some hopefully good news for you, and definitely good news for us. We're all coming with you, whether you like it or not. But you may be wondering how we're going to do it. So we all applied for jobs at your school, your new school and such. We didn't get it. Keith was close because of his technology skills, and I hear there's an amusement park in the city you're going to. Yeah, so we're going to apply for that. But in the meantime, we are all with you because in this bag is a picture frame. It's one of those digital picture frames. And we have about 100 pictures, actually 100 exactly, of people smiling for you, Jerry. We noticed when we're taking the pictures, people didn't really want to get their pictures taken, but when they heard it was for you, they were like, "Oh my God, of course!" And we have some old pictures from the past as well as some video. So we want to come with you. We're never going to forget you, and we're hoping that you don't forget us because we love you and enjoy. Thank you. Jerry might be able, he's testing me to see if I can do this.
You can't make that stuff up. Let there be no doubt that there is a love that binds us one to another, and definitely to you as well. And maybe as we sing There Is a Love, we reinforce a little bit this week that these aren't just simple words, that this is what they're for. Even if there might not be a special event in our midst every Sunday, there's a special event, a special person, a special happening that this love and this song is for. This morning it just happens to be for Jerry. Thank you.
There is a love. We rest in this
It's a tough act to follow, everybody. Each Sunday, we ask for your generosity, one of our core values, and you respond time and time again. In the recent weeks, you've supported your giving to the congregation with donations of supermarket gift cards to help our immigrant neighbors. Once again, we ask for and depend upon your generous and giving hearts. You can use the QR code in the order of service to give online, or you may also mail a check to the UUCD at 24 Cloudbird Ridge in Danbury. Thank you for your generosities. The ushers will now come and receive the gifts from the congregation.
1,000,000 our vagabond heels clocked up neath the clouds. They're counting down to showtime when we do it for real with the crowds. Air miles are owing, but they don't come for free, and they don't give you any for pain. But if it's all for nothing, all the road running's been in vain. To go up on the wall, it can only be fast and high. And those who don't like the danger soon find something different to try. And when there is only a ring in your ears and an echo down memory lane, then if it's all for nothing, all the road running's been in vain. All the road running, all the road running, all the road running, all the road running. Vagabond sky cocked up above the clouds. I'm still your man for the roaming, for as long as there's roaming allowed. All the road running.
Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I've come after them and made repair where they have left not one stone on a stone, but they would have that rabbit out of hiding. To please the yelping dogs. The gaps, I mean, no one's seen them made or heard them made. But at spring mending time, we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go to each the boulders that have fallen to each. Some are lows and some so nearly balls we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. Just another kind of outdoor game. One on a side, it comes to little more. There, where it is we do not need the wall. He's all pine and I am all apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines, I tell him. He only says, good fences make good neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I'd ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was to give offense. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I could say elves to him, but it's not elves exactly, and I'd rather he said it for himself. I see him there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone savage armed. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only in the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well, and just says again, good fences make good neighbors. The story we saw in video this morning is actually based on a true story. The character of the muralist in the story is based on Rafael and Candace Lopez in the city of San Diego, California. Rafael and Candace Lopez were artists who wanted to bring people together in their community in their neighborhood of East Village, San Diego. They wanted to make the neighborhood more beautiful, deepen a sense of community, gather people together. And so they did what community organizers do. They held a lot of meetings. They invited everyone, artists, parents, children, teachers, local politicians, police, doctors, business people, even the people who lived on the street. They talked to everyone about their plan and had everyone talk to them about the plan. Re-energize and beautify the neighborhood. Use art to do it, and in the process, strengthen our community and our relationships. And the project eventually came to be called the Urban Art Trail. And it's one of the reasons there is so much public art in our country. And it's actually one of the reasons that you see public art in places like Danbury, because their movement followed across the country. Their urban art trail began with two murals, The Joy of Urban Living and The Strength of Women. And then they painted the utility boxes and the post boxes and the benches, and they put poems and calligraphy on the sidewalks. The urban art trail didn't just put art in the neighborhood, it turned the neighborhood into a work of art. Then the community painted everything they could, and they crafted mosaics around the trees as they came up through the sidewalks. And Raphael and Candace noticed that in their neighborhood, people often looked down at the ground as they walked, so they put the poems on the sidewalk. And little by little, the neighborhood grew into a work of art, an inspiration not only to the people who lived there, but to people across the country as the movement spread. Eventually, they took some of the pieces, like the call boxes and the benches, and they sold them at auction at fundraisers. And people paid a lot of money for them. And they used the money to fund art programs and give scholarships to art schools to students in financial need. And it just grew and grew and grew. The Urban Art Trail project assumed its reach was everyone in the neighborhood, not just the artists, not just the people who lived next door who might have something to say about this bench and what is done with it, but everyone in the neighborhood. And a strange thing happens when you set out to intentionally include everyone in a project. Your intentions start to create what you're trying to achieve. When you intentionally set out to involve everyone and include everyone, guess what? Everyone starts to feel included and involved. People sometimes naturally come together in community, but genuine community rarely develops without some intention behind creating and deepening relationships between people. And relationships between and among people who might not otherwise share much in common or come together. Other than that, they just might live next to each other or work at the same office or go to the same school. The Lopezes understood that fences don't always make good neighbors. Sometimes they get in the way. Sometimes what makes good neighbors is bringing the fences down. The Urban Art Project understood that the walls and structures of the city can tend to keep people apart, even though they live next door to each other. And they aren't neighbors, and they aren't friends, and they aren't family. And one way to bring those fences down is to paint the fence. One can take a wall and turn it from a barrier into a bridge just by painting something on it. It doesn't require an artist to understand that all people are neighbors. And sometimes they just need something, anything, like an art project or a song or a dance or a meal, to get them talking to each other and creating community. We in religious communities tend to think of congregations, even ours, as something set apart from larger community. Even when it's important to us to be involved in the community, we still see ourselves as an entity that has some kind of separation, barrier, wall between us and everything else. Across the street is a Methodist congregation, which is for the Methodists. Here, we're the Unitarian Universalist congregation for the UUs. And up the street is the Greek Orthodox congregation for the Greek Orthodox. Down the street is the Lutheran church for the Lutherans. Up the street is the synagogue for Jewish neighbors. And without intending to, intentionally, we start to separate ourselves one from another, sometimes more often than we should. We're good neighbors and we have good fences. And yes, you can use our parking lot for your Greek festival, and I can come over and get my galactoburrito, and all is well. But the next week, I don't go over and say hello. We can tend to let those things keep us in our separate spaces. Before I built the wall, I'd like to ask what I was walling in or walling out. Because walls don't just keep things out, they also keep things in. What seems at first like a security system, a barricade, a defense, a fortress, can soon become a cage, a jail, prison, a limit, a leash. And this can happen with congregations as well. There's a designation that comes around with churches that we don't use a heck of a lot anymore. It's called parish. And parish is actually a geographic designation. You're from Louisiana, you know this, yes. It's one of the few places that still has a meaning. Yeah, only meaning. Like Louisiana is divided into parishes, what would be more like counties here in the Northeast. And In civil government in England, actually, the parish is the lowest, smallest unit of recognized government. It's a geographic area. In 17th and 18th century New England, there were parishes, not just Catholic parishes, there were parishes. In fact, in 17th and 18th century New England, in order for a locality to get a charter from the British Crown and then later from the state government to actually be a town, they needed three things. You know what they were? A gathered church, a called minister, and a meeting house. And that was the law well into the 19th century in New England. The New England town meeting is a civic outgrowth of a congregational meeting, because the business of the congregation and the parish, the geographic area, was one and the same for a long time. The members of the church or the congregation were those who had made a Christian confession of faith and signed the covenant, signed the membership book, becoming partners in the church. But this was not the same as being a member of the parish, because the parish was the geographic designation of the congregation or church's reach. Everyone served in this geographic area by this institution. Whether or not citizens were members of the church or congregation, all the citizens within the church's geographic service area were members of the parish. And in New England, well into the 19th century, they all had to pay a pulpit tax to hire the local minister. And then a Unitarian congregation in Dedham, Massachusetts, really reinforced the laws between the separation of church and state. It's called the Dedham decision. And what happened was in 1818, the Dedham congregation, the Unitarian congregation, was invited an applicant named Alvin Lamson to be the new minister. And this was the time when Unitarianism was starting to creep into all those old congregational churches. And there were some Unitarians already in Dedham. And Lamson had a very liberal, for the time, Unitarian theology. And a lot of the people in the parish kind of shared that. But the majority of the members of the congregation were more conservative, traditional Christians, and they didn't want Lamson. So a conflict arose. And the members of the congregation wanted to separate from the parish, which was becoming too liberal around them. And so Deacon Baker, one of the liberals in the church's membership, sued Deacon Fales, one of the conservatives in the church's membership, because the conservatives had taken the church's money box, its finances, and its communion silver and all its belongings, and took them away and were going to build their own new church. So Deacon Baker sued to get them back. Now, Deacon Fales, the conservatives, argued that since a majority of the church members were leaving, and they were, that all that stuff belonged to them, who was now the continuation of the church. But Deacon Baker argued all that stuff belonged to the parish, to everyone served by the church. And the liberals ended up winning the case in court. The court agreeing that the church was built, run, and maintained not only for the benefit of its members, but for the parish, because the parish paid to sustain it, not just the members. Now, that's not true anymore, but it throws out at us an interesting thing to ponder about whose are we? Are we just ours here, or are we connected to all of these folks around us? Not just as something to dip out into on an occasional service project, but to see ourselves as servants, not of just our membership, but of the parish. And sometimes we get into work that starts to do this, like Danbury Unites for Immigrants. So that Dedham ruling was presided over in court by a Unitarian judge. So, of course, the losing side cried fix and corruption, but it went through a bunch of appeals and it was sustained all the way through by judges who weren't sympathetic, let's say. But this event helped accelerate this Unitarian versus conservative Trinitarian congregational schism that was happening in New England. And by 1830, they figure between 1/4 and 1/3 of all the congregations in New England had turned liberal, meaning become Unitarian. And the losing side that didn't get to keep the silver and the money and everything else left, walked across the street and built a new meeting house, which is why in a lot of New England towns, you have a Unitarian Universalist church on one side of the town green and a Trinitarian, usually here, Congregational Church, United Church of Christ on the other side. That's literally what happened in the wake of the Dedham decision. And it was all about, who does the church serve? Whose are we? We in Connecticut are no longer taxed to support a church. In general, probably a good idea. I think if we were, we would find ourselves being taxed to support a pulpit that a lot of us don't really agree with very much. So probably a good thing. There's not like bad thing to have a certain separation of church and state. But I wonder sometimes if we've lost something also the other way, which is to see the community around us as the people we serve on an ongoing basis, not just in special times to go out into the community, to break down that barrier a little more, to see it as more permeable. And I think we'd be better off doing that more and more often. We want a separation of church and state, but we don't want to withdraw into our own private religious world where this is just for yous, or our core values with love at the center are just for us and aren't really important or valuable to anybody else, or how the world around us should run. There's a downside to membership organizations in that those outside the membership can sometimes be seen as not part of the community, not part of whose are we or who we serve. And it's a vital question. Whose are we? Are we only responsible to the other signed members in our membership book who make a pledge of financial support? Or is the whose and the whose are we a lot bigger? What if we leaned a little bit more into parish and a little less into congregation? Instead of being a group of believers or unbelievers, or however you want to phrase it, however liberal or not a group might be, right? How are we separating ourselves from the world when we're not really intending to? What if, like the old Puritan churches, we saw ourselves as servants of the area around us, not just our members? I hope we continue to do more and more of what we've been doing with Danbury Unites for Immigrants. I think it connects us vitally to more and more people who may see that what the members of the congregation have here is also vital to them too. And then it's a conduit that goes both ways. And we start to thrive as the congregation part for helping the people thrive who are in the parish. What if we saw Unitarian Universalism and our congregation less like a club for spiritual liberal people and more like an art project that we could paint our values on the sidewalk, that we could make rainbows on call boxes, that we could beautify with love and justice and equity and transformation and interdependence and pluralism and generosity the parish around us? What if the congregation, like the community organizers, get everyone in the neighborhood to join us together, to invite everybody into the whose are we? Paint love at the center of everything we do together. What if Unitarian Universalism is not just what we do here for us, but what we do in the world for the benefit of everybody? And I think we all see it that way at times. I think we all do. I really do. But what if we centered that more and more and more? What kind of neighborhood, what kind of Danbury might we create if we saw ourselves as creative community organizers working for the parish, not just a group of people who gather on Sundays as religious liberals? What if Unitarian Universalism becomes a medium like pen and ink or watercolors or oil paint or mosaics that we use to help create inclusion and community and fairness and peace, not just in our own lives, but in the parish around us, in workplaces and schools and government and our city? What might we create? What mural might we paint? How might we color the community around us? I think we just might create something beautiful.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. Our closing hymn is The Fire of Commitment.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and souls ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. The stories of our living brings a song both brave and true. Knowing pillars still to witness the light of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion is to call us on our way.
Reminder, please join us for coffee and snacks. If you're visiting today, I'd love to meet you. Say hello. May the drag stage rise to meet you. May the world rise to accept and embrace you. May the rainbow of love enfold you. May poems be painted on your very sidewalks. May you be able to catch the colors on your call boxes. And Until we meet again, remember that you are loved and you are divine, and you are always welcome here. And I invite you to sit one last time for Jerry Phelps.